Hi, Jeff. I think it wasn't 25 years ago. I think it was more like 30 years ago when I met you that very first day you came to St. Luke. A friend that I knew and trusted came up to me and said, I met this guy, and he's the son of a pastor, and he used to play organ for his dad, church services for his dad, when he was only 12 years old. And then he moved to California and he had a rock group out there, but now he's in Ann Arbor. And I've never heard him play, but I think he might be good. So at the end of the service, you came up to me and introduced yourself, and I did feel comfortable and at peace with the quiet, gentle spirit that I felt coming out of you. So we talked, and we set up a Sunday for you to play and accompany, and you showed up, and we practiced, and when your fingers hit the keyboard, I knew you were a gem. So I'm so glad that you followed the Lord to Ann Arbor, because we were waiting for you. We needed you. You were faithful, and you were patient, and you waited. And at just the right time, the door opened, and you were able to step up into the position that God had prepared for you. And there you were, minister of worship at St. Luke. And our lives have been richer because of your faithfulness and your commitment to serving and doing the very best you can do with what you have been given. But I specifically wanted to just zero in on something that happened the very first Sunday that we returned this year from Texas. It was the first Sunday in April, and you, of course, were leading worship. And this young couple came in, a mom and a dad, probably in their early 20s, and they had one little boy with them, and he looked to be about 2. And I just couldn't take my eyes off of him because he was so at peace. He wasn't wiggly or squirmy. He just seemed to be taking in the surroundings. And we came to the end of communion, and you were in the last song, and you repeated the chorus. And then you repeated the chorus again, and then, which is your signature signal to me, there's a slight hesitation, and there's a drop in the tempo, and your fingers hit the keys a little lighter, and then we go back and do the chorus again. And when that happens, the Spirit of the living God just flows through the people and across the sanctuary. And what happened that day, I felt so privileged to be able to see. Because as I watched that little boy on his daddy's shoulder, looking back at me, all of a sudden, his eyes closed and he lifted his head up to the ceiling, and tears began to just roll down his cheeks. And I realized that the God of the universe was touching him in a way that he could receive, as this little 2-year-old boy was experiencing God in his spirit. And he knew it was something special. He was drinking in God's love. I suspected that God was touching people all over the sanctuary, dozens, maybe more than that, each at the point of their need, because that's who he is. He knows what we need, and he comes and he meets us right where we are. You have submitted yourself to God in a humble spirit, and you sense what you're supposed to do to make way for the Lord of the universe to do what he wants to do in the lives of his people. And I want to thank you for that, Jeff. I know that you're a good leader, you're a strong captain, you know what you're doing, you know what singer to sing which song, you know what instrument, you know the tempo that would be the best for that particular song. But when it comes to the Lord of the universe, you have a humility of spirit before him, and you're there to serve him. So you give it your all, and I love that about you, Jeff. Thank you for serving us. Thank you for making the way for us to be blessed through your skill. Thank you. God bless you, Jeff. I love you.